is an interesting buzz this morning. Welcome back to The Road Show. Hundreds of concerned students and parents showed up at a meeting last night in Cranston to protest plans to merge sports at East and West high schools. What's interesting here is Ben's from East, an alum of East, and Courtney Caligiuri over there is an alum of West. So already the fireworks are flying this morning. Cranston schools, they'll have to cut $130,000 from their budget. The proposed plan would mean to merge 6 sports programs at the 2 high schools and then cut 4 other sports altogether. But students and parents say they want the school committee to cut something else. Take a listen to what they had to say.
It's just not right. I mean, there's room in the budget to cut elsewhere.
My feeling on it is you're only in high school once, and if they take away these high school sports, it's really going to take a big part of their lives away.
Oh, I think it's just inexplicable. I just can't understand why they're just nickel and diming these kids.
But I didn't hear anyone suggesting where else to take the money from. What do you guys think?
Well, that's the problem. Traffic Candy came out and said they don't want to do this. They're just kind of backed into it.
Who's Traffic Candy?
One of the old mayors. He's on the...
Okay. I think. Well, let's just, so that people at home know who he is.
And he's on one of the committees right now, and he did say that they don't, they don't want to do this. Obviously, why would they? They're just kind of backed into a corner. But as a kid, and especially freshman year, I went to Cranston East before I transferred. And I'll tell you what, that first time I ever played against Cranston West in hockey was an experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. And now they're not, let it be known that they're not cutting the major sports.
Right.
And I hate to say major and minor, but
they're not cutting football,
so they'll still be that tradition of the Thanksgiving Day game.
Baseball,
but,
and hockey.
But me and Courtney were still saying
also, though, if I may interrupt, they're also going to cut all the music programs and some special programs for gifted kids as well. So it's not just
so I mean,
now they owe $1
million,
and they also must repay $8.4 million in loans to the city. That's not chump change, folks.
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is unfortunate, but I mean, when you look at the big picture, the kids are the ones that are going to be losing out. Like I was saying, I remember that first time I ever played Cranston West, and it was half the crowd was there in red, half was in green. I mean, it's just an experience that these kids in the sports that will be cut won't be able to go through. And me and Courtney were even saying, I mean, people get together, the alumni shows up and attends these events, and I remember on game days we'd wear our jerseys to the school, and you're meeting your other teammates and you're getting excited. The whole day is the excitement. And now if you're combining it with kids that aren't even in your classes anymore, and then you're going to meet up on the playing field that day, it doesn't really make sense. It takes away from that camaraderie of going to school together and going to classes together and talking about the games. And now you're just going to meet your teammates at the field a half hour before the game. I don't know.
Well, what is the answer?
But that's the problem. It's so tough to find an answer because, like Traffic Candy said, they're backed into a corner. They really... I mean, it's $8 million.
And I do want to point out, like Vince, you were saying, that the music program and the arts are always first to suffer as well.
Programs for special need kids.
Yeah,
that's going to be cut as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about wearing the game jerseys and all that stuff. That's still going to happen. The kids who play football, the kids who play hockey, the kids who play boys basketball and baseball, that's still going to happen. It's some of the lesser sports that it's not going to happen, and that's a shame, and I feel bad for them, and it's terrible. But would you rather have no sports?
Yeah, I mean...
Would you rather have nothing?
This is unfortunately what it's come to, but... No, I mean, obviously you want to have the sports, but hopefully kids won't be leaving.
Now, what I'd like to see be done is have an independent auditor come in and take a look at the books from both schools.
Yeah, and take a look if there are ways. And look at it
and say, if there are ways that you can cut other things to be able to do it.
Now, when I played hockey, we had a lot of kids. We had some great hockey players from Cranston that didn't go to East or West. They went to Hendricken, they went to Mount, they went to... So who knows if that's going to happen. If there's some of the schools that were cut, some of the teams, if a kid's a good athlete and his family can afford a private school, you're going to see these kids leaving now.
Yeah. You know what, I have to say it's going to be interesting to hear what Courtney Caligiuri has to say as a former rival of yours, Ben.
Just let me say before you write in, I'm not on anybody's side.
I just can see the points of the students because I remember being in high school and how important it was, and now as an adult I look back, I get it with the budget and the money. You've got to see where you can cut to help save the city, but I don't know. I do agree with Ben, and it's a rivalry, it's a tradition, it's really important for them. So hopefully, maybe they've exhausted all their other options and they can work around it. But they're kind of divided here on the live blog as well and on Facebook. Let's get to that on foxprovidence.com. This one's from Trip. He said, being a West grad, I completely understand the need to keep the rivalry alive for football, basketball, and baseball, but for the rest, I think there is an opportunity to merge them, save money, and have the best teams in the state. And this one is from T. BDE Rock, and he says, needing to merge school services is one thing, but sports teams among rival schools, no way. Find something else. So here's our poll on FoxProvidence.com. What do you think of the proposed high school sports merge in Cranston? Your choices are A, it's needed and will help the city budget, or B, their rivals, cut something else. We also have a story here that was on the news last night on FoxProvidence.com if you do want to watch that and catch up with what we're chatting about. And here's a snapshot of Facebook right now. We have from Bob Morris. He says, as a Cranston East alum, I find the merge hard to take in. There has been such a rivalry since West opened. However, better to at least have one team than none. So that is true. We're all in agreement in that. But I'll be back in about 30 minutes with your poll results. For now, back to the kitchen.